Ladies and gentlemen, we stand at the precipice of the greatest financial transformation in human history. After 15 years of speculation, doubt, and volatility, Bitcoin has reached an inflection point that makes its future adoption not just probable, but inevitable. What you're about to hear isn't crypto hype. It's institutional reality backed by $70 billion in cold, hard evidence. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager with $10 trillion under management, just shattered every record in ETF history. Their Bitcoin ETF reached $70 billion in assets in just 341 trading days. To put that in perspective, it took their gold ETF 5 times longer to reach the same milestone. We're not talking about retail FOMO here. We're talking about the world's most sophisticated institutional investors moving at breakneck speed. In May 2025 alone, Bitcoin ETFs saw $586 billion in institutional inflows. That's not speculation money, that's pension funds, endowments, and sovereign wealth funds positioning for the future. But here's what's truly staggering. Institutional investors now hold 22.9% of all Bitcoin ETF assets. These aren't day traders. These are the same institutions that control global markets, and they're allocating to Bitcoin at unprecedented levels. While institutions dipped their toes, Michael Saylor dove headfirst into the deep end and proved the strategy works. MicroStrategy now holds 582,000 Bitcoin, worth over $60 billion. In 2024 alone, they added over 100,000 Bitcoin to their treasury. The company's stock gained 477%, making it the top-performing stock in the tech sector. Saylor didn't just buy Bitcoin. He created a playbook that corporate America is now studying with intense interest. Corporate Bitcoin holdings have doubled to $85 billion by May 2024, with over 800,000 Bitcoin now sitting in corporate treasuries. This isn't a trend, it's a migration. Companies are moving from dollars to digital gold, and once they start, they don't stop. Here's where the story gets truly historic. On March 6, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order establishing the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, America's official digital Fort Knox. The U.S. government, which once viewed Bitcoin with suspicion, now holds it as a strategic national asset. The order explicitly states, Bitcoin held by the government shall not be sold and shall be maintained as reserve assets of the United States. Let that sink in. The world's largest economy just declared Bitcoin a permanent reserve asset alongside gold and treasury bonds. This isn't policy, this is precedent. When America moves, the world follows. While America was making policy, the Middle East was making moves. Abu Dhabi's Mubadala, managing $280 billion, quietly purchased $436 million worth of Bitcoin ETFs in Q1 2024. This isn't just investment, it's geopolitical positioning. Sovereign wealth funds that control oil money are diversifying into digital assets. The UAE has positioned itself as a global crypto hub, enabling cryptocurrency payments and boosting adoption rates across the region. When oil money flows into Bitcoin, it signals a fundamental shift in how nations view monetary sovereignty. Here's the plot twist nobody saw coming. Despite China's official crypto ban, a Shanghai court ruled in November 2024 that personal ownership of cryptocurrency is legal. Chinese citizens continue buying Bitcoin and stablecoins despite restrictions, creating massive underground demand. Even more telling, China's foreign exchange regulator now requires banks to monitor crypto trades, not to stop them, but to track them. This isn't enforcement, it's preparation for legitimization. When the world's second largest economy starts preparing infrastructure instead of building walls, the writing is on the blockchain. The numbers don't lie about adoption momentum. 60% of Fortune 500 companies are now working on blockchain projects. 1/3 of small and medium-sized firms in the US are using crypto, double the number from 2024. Bitcoin mining hash rate grew 107% annually since 2016, with 55% growth in 2024 alone. This isn't just financial adoption, it's infrastructure build-out. When half the Fortune 500 is building on blockchain technology, the foundation for mass Bitcoin adoption is already being laid. Here's why this moment is different from every other Bitcoin moment in history. Government adoption, corporate treasuries, institutional flows, infrastructure build-out, geopolitical positioning. For the first time in Bitcoin's 15-year history, every major power structure is moving in the same direction simultaneously. The US government holds it as strategic reserves. Corporate America adds it to balance sheets. Wall Street packages it for institutions. Sovereign wealth funds position for the future. Even China prepares for eventual integration. This isn't speculation anymore, this is inevitability. Institutional analysts aren't targeting $200,000 Bitcoin by 2025 because of technical analysis. They're looking at structural demand versus fixed supply. With only 21 million Bitcoin ever to exist, and institutions now accumulating at unprecedented rates, basic economics tells the story. When BlackRock alone holds 500,000 plus Bitcoin and continues buying, when MicroStrategy adds thousands monthly, when sovereign wealth funds position for the future, the supply squeeze becomes mathematical certainty. Bitcoin isn't just rising because of speculation. It's rising because the biggest players in the world have decided it's essential to own. The train has left the station. The institutions have spoken. The governments have positioned. The infrastructure is built. For 15 years, Bitcoin faced the question, will it be adopted? That question has been answered. The only question now is, how fast? The smart money isn't asking if Bitcoin will reach new heights. They're positioning for when it does. Because when trillion-dollar institutions move at record speed, when governments create strategic reserves, when sovereign wealth funds diversify into digital assets, the outcome isn't uncertain. It's inevitable. The time to doubt Bitcoin's future has passed. The time to position for it has never been more clear. This is the great convergence, and it's happening now. Crypto Mandan always bringing the latest news. I hope you learned something and are ready for more.